Amir Farsood has applied for medically assisted dying, known as MAID. He lives in constant agony due to a back injury, but has started the process for end of life because his rooming house is up for sale and he can't find anywhere else to live that he can afford. He barely survives on Ontario disability support payments, which are just over $1,200 a month. He doesn't want to die, but being homeless is not an option.
I know in my present health condition, I wouldn't survive it anyway.
Farsood meets the criteria for MAID, physical suffering due to disability that cannot be relieved. His doctor, who knows Farsood's real reason for MAID is his fear of being homeless, signed off on the application in August. Farsood needs a second to do the same. There's a 90-day waiting period. He believes he could potentially access MAID in about a month.
I don't wish to be dead. Even with the pain, even with the meds, I still want to be here.
Amir
Shalom, Kahalalim La Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Waharakurash, the blinders to the apostles, bishops, and elders of GMS who rule well, who I learned his truth from, and salutations and blessings to you elect, starting with 144,000 on down. So this is hell, man. You know, in Canada we have this program called MAID, right, which is a medically assisted death, pretty much, and you know, this is living hell that we're in. Okay, this is not life. You know, this dude here, you know, he's on disability, and he doesn't want to be homeless, so he just said, "Look, I'm just gonna die." You know, like I said, man, this is hell on earth. We've been telling you people that this is not life. This is actually death. This is the valley of the shadow of death. You know, and this is from nationalpost.com. First read in Canada likely to mark 100,000th MAID death by summer. This was published February 14th of this year. More Canadians are dying from assisted suicide each year than all the world's other countries combined. You know, and this is a beautiful way for the elites. Another avenue to get rid of you, you know, sheeple, goyim, you know, useless eaters, you know, whatever they call you. It's just another avenue. Okay, life is too hard. The cost of living, right? There's a thing called the cost of living, which is completely fucking bugged out. Okay, in the ancient world, you didn't lie around all day and do nothing. You didn't eat, you know, but guess what? You weren't inside, right? We have a thing called the indoor generation, the four walls. You know, you're just inside. You got your TV, your internet, okay, your Uber Eats. You don't even got to drive through the fucking drive-through. Right, you got to Uber Eats, skip the dishes that comes through the door, okay, and you're known as an indoor generation. Back in the ancient world, you got up when the sun was up, the birds are chirping, you know, went out to hunt, to fish, to do all kinds of things, you know. Now you have a thing called, like I said, the cost of living. You got to pay taxes on this, that, the third, pay for water, pay for this. And it's not even good. Like, at least if I'm getting good water, okay, I'm paying for water, but I'm paying for microplastics. I'm paying for heavy metals. I'm all kinds of madness, man. Okay, as you see here, it says, just as Canada approaches the 10th anniversary of legal assisted suicide, the country is on course to soon record 100,000 total deaths from medically assistance in dying. This means that in addition to now charting MAID as one of its leading causes of death, Canada will also become the first country of the modern era to measure its total euthanasia deaths in the six figures. The 100,000 figure has recently been popularized by Canadian anti-MAID activist Kelsey Sharon. She stated in a recent op-ed that her country is about to kill its 100,000 citizens through medical assistance in dying. The number was picked up by various anti-euthanasia organizations and was repeated by Sharon in a podcast appearance on the show Real Talk with Zuby. This spring, we're about to hit our 100,000th individual. Okay? So, like I said, bro, they don't want you alive. They want you in the ground. You know, with AI coming through, you know, workers, you know, they don't want you anymore. You know, workers, people are always complaining. They want wage rise, you know, increase in wage. They want benefits. It's just too much. They're just gonna get rid of you, you know, and they're gonna replace you with autonomous, you know, AI, robots, whatever you want to call it, cyborgs. Okay, In Health Canada, most recent update on MAID deaths, the agency stated that 76,475 Canadians had died via assisted suicide as of December 31st, 2024. Okay, so, I'm not going to keep reading, but this is the point, and this is Isaiah 7 or 24 and 7 NLT. The grapevines waste away, and there is no new wine. All the merry makers sigh and mourn. Okay, this is going into this present state of society, right? The wine is going into your new ideas, your philosophies, okay, your ideals, your ways of life, your optimism, right? All the merry makers and sigh and mourn. The cheerful sound of tambourines is stilled. The happy cries of celebration are heard no more. The melodious chords of the harp are silent. Gone are the joys of wine and song. Alcoholic drinks turn bitter in the mouth, right? Gone. Everything, everything right now is greed, lust, very base, very savage, animalistic. Okay, I gotta get mine, fuck you. No new friends or no friends in general. Trust no one, trust no bitch, trust no nigga. Everything is, you versus everyone. You're just squared off. There's no socialism. There's no social skills anymore. People don't talk. Okay. And when they're talking, they're not listening to you. Okay. You can't even hold a conversation with somebody for 2 minutes, right? Without them looking at their phone, or just, you look at their eyes and, the lights are on, but no one's home. Right, verse 10, the city writes in chaos. We're about to enter this time. Every home is locked to keep out intruders. Okay, mobs gather in the streets crying out for wine. And this is not going into, for example, in Canada, we have, especially here in Toronto, GTA, Ontario, in the province, we have a big epidemic of home invasions, right? Break-in enterings and home invasions, carjackings. This is not talking about that. That's just a spiking crime that happens every so decade or so, every so often. That's just like that's a thing that the politicians use, left and right. All right, they turn on the faucet of crime and then they pull it back after, to pass certain laws, and that's what they do. This is going into the time of real chaos, okay, where there's no standing government, there's sedition. Like I said, there's no civil order, right? This is the time that we're coming into. Mobs gather in the streets crying out for wine. Joy has turned to gloom. Gladness has been banished from the land. The city is left in ruins, its gates battered down. Throughout the earth, the story is the same. That was the point, actually. That was the point. But again, the point is, they're crying out for wine. All these philosophies, something new. We need a new way of life. That's why people are turning to Christianity, or turning to witchcraft, or turning to Buddhism. They're turning every which way, and those things are not going to help. Okay? Those things will not help. Let's get Ecclesiastes 12 and 1. Remember now thy Creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not. Okay, nor the years draw nigh when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them, while the sun or the light or the moon or the stars be not darkened, nor the clouds return after the rain. Right? Going into knowledge, wisdom, understanding. Okay? It's out here right now via the men of the Lord. Okay, but soon, everything's going to be shut down. The internet's shut down. Bible will be outlawed. You're going to be known as an extremist. Okay? Nor the clouds return after the rain. In the NLT, rain clouds continually darken your sky. So when when it rains, you expect what? The sun to come out, the sun to shine. No. Right after it rains, the clouds come right back. And that's going into 2 Ezra 5 and 8. At the same time shall men hope, but obtain nothing. Right? They shall labor, but their ways shall not prosper. Okay? And again, right now, you can labor and you can prosper in a way, even though the dollar is completely shit, but you can have your avenues where you can get paid. We're coming into a time where everything is shut down. There's no avenues of escape. Okay? Right now, that's why I said people are in this perpetual state of escapism, distractions, what the media or society calls entertainment, which entertainment just means a distraction. That's why you have all these streaming platforms, Crave, Netflix, right, Disney, right? It's about what you crave, what you want to escape in, Okay, then you have your vices, your narcotics, your drugs. You people, you go to your damn sex clubs, you do swinger parties, you do whatever madness you do, trying to escapism, trying to escape reality, because it's biting you in the ass every morning, right? Verse 3: In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few, and those that look out of the windows be darkened. Okay, no more window of opportunity. Everything is shut down. Grinding work is ceasing. Canada has the highest food inflation rate, I believe, in the world, or one of the highest. And that's going into, again, the dollar. It's not that the prices are rising, the dollar is being devalued every day, right? And the doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low, and he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low. Right, the grinding is low. The noise of the grinding is low. Everything's People ain't working, man. Everybody's realizing you either got to be some type of fool, clown, jester, streamer, doing some streaming shit, some YouTube, some whatever streaming these people do, TikTok. Be a clown, a jester on a hamster on a wheel, dancing, or you got to do crime, fraud, drugs, trafficking, whatever. Because there's nothing in between. There's too many immigrants coming, taking up regular jobs. Okay. They just cut certain loan programs for students here in Ontario. Everything is shutting down, man. And at the same time, when it's shutting down, things are getting tighter. Prices are rising. It's not like 20 years ago. Like I said, job markets fluctuate. Things shut down all the time. Things narrow and then expand. But right now it's narrowing, and the society and the dollar is the worst it's ever been. That's a scary time. That's a perfect recipe for chaos. Okay? That was the point. Yeah, that was the point. Anyway, kahalaliyam la Yahweh Bashem Yahushai wa Shalom.